So the social skills of introducing yourself and getting to know somebody new, those are basically two different sets of skills. And what we're recommending is that you merge those together when you're introducing yourself. So it's not just about someone walking up and, introducing their name and a little bit about themselves, which may or may not be interesting. But when you combine the objective of trying to get to know the other person, then you're including them in this exchange. And ideally, both people would walk away from that feeling like they've gotten to know the other person a little bit. So it's more equitable. So with the lesson plan, what we have here is the sets of basically loaded up with questions. And the reason why is because we know from prior videos that it's when you use questions, the person who is being asked the question, they get involved now in the conversation, and it can be relatively pleasing to them to be included in that way by being asked questions like what's your name and what grade are you in, and what do you like to do for fun, what games do you like to play. That shows a potential interest in the other person, and by asking that question, you're sending that message. So it's not just about me and whoever the person's who initiates this. It's about both people and getting those questions to involve both people, so it's a nice exchange. And then, of course, ideally there would be some connections made, perhaps a discovery of some similarities. So, which would be the very very beginning of establishing perhaps a friendship. So this is the lesson plan. We're going to go into a little bit more, basically step by step. So the first step, to be as concrete as possible, is walking up to the person because you have to get close enough to engage them. Now, ideally, the other person isn't talking to anybody. You're introducing yourself in a kind of a situation where someone is by themselves. But if they were talking, let's say to their mom or their daddy or to their brother, sister, or to another peer, then you can't just barge in and just start talking. So we remind the kids that just like with a lot of the other skills, you have to wait until the person is not talking and available for you, and that 2-second rule. Now, hi, what are you doing is that real opening icebreaker, very socially typical for kids to do that, for adults to do that as well. And so we start off with that, like with a lot of the other skills. Now, my name, number 4 and 5, what's your name is really the heart of that introducing part. You've finally given your name, and now you're asking for their name. And then nice to meet you. We really try to find a way where kids can offer compliments from time to time when they're in any kind of exchange, whether it's starting a conversation or joining in a play situation or whatever it might be. When they're on the phone, it doesn't really matter. You throw 1 or 2 compliments in, and it makes it a positive atmosphere. What grade are you in is a typical question that kids will ask each other. How old are you is another one. If they're in the same school, it could be what's your favorite teacher, or who's your favorite teacher, what's your favorite class, on and on. And the idea is that they don't have to do all 6, 7, and 8 questions, but they can have just a few more questions to kind of exchange information about each other. It can be really about anything. What games do you like to play? If they have things in common around that, that's a nice start to a potential relationship as the kids get to know each other further after this initial exchange. We have the little stop signs there, wait for an answer, because kids, when they read this and they're practicing it, they kind of go line to line sometimes, and they just run over each other. So this slows them down a little bit, and with role playing and them actively using it, then it becomes a little bit more natural for them. So this will be the introducing yourself and getting to know someone new.